Welcome to the DCU Sports Grounds. It is the Electric Ireland Trench Cup final between Mary Immaculate College Limerick and the Cork Institute of Technology. It's a cold day, but there's no breeze, there's no rain, and it's good conditions for football. The crowd building for this one. CIT with a really high tradition in higher education football. Being in the Trench Cup is something that doesn't sit particularly well with them, but they have the chance to get straight back into the big time next season. And we saw last year that the winner of this competition, well, it does provide the momentum going into the Sigerson Cup, because LIT beat Dundalk IT this time last year and ended up in the Sigerson Cup semi-final this season. So Cork IT, full of talent, they'll want to fire their way back into the top grade. But Mary Immaculate College have a recent tradition in this competition. They actually won it 2 years ago, and they've got a good collection of players from Mayo, Galway, Limerick, and of course Tipperary. Formerly of Dublin and of course DCU Docus Éireann, Tomás Quinn joins me. Tomás, what are you expecting from this game?
Well, hoping for a good open game, Oisín, to be honest. It's a beautiful evening for football here. We can see the Dublin Mountains in the distance with the snow on them, but thankfully the weather for football is much better. The pitch is in immaculate condition. It's really good, and hoping to see an open attacking game of football.
You can see it is quite cold around Dublin, those the mountains, but it's not too bad around here. It's quite fresh, perfect conditions for football.
No, it is, and look, I suppose the nature of college competitions, like there's guys there from multiple different counties, and they're all here, and they're trying to mix and blend and get a performance, and you know these two teams will be no different today.
James McNeve is in midfield. He was there 2 years ago. He's really experienced. He will drive things on, as will Sean Meehan at centre back. Croke, quite an experienced keeper. Well, the forward unit work collectively hard. There have been a number of late changes made to the team. Truth be told, we're not that familiar with many of these players, but as we say, if they're playing in the final of the second tier competition, they can't be that bad. And a lot of these guys are involved in the kind of underage inter-county teams in the various places they're from. For Cork Institute of Technology, well, just a couple of years ago they were the Sigerson Cup champions. They'll want to bounce back to that level. To do that, they'll have to win today, and they've got quite a spine of experience. Anthony Casey is in goal. Of course, he's a Cork senior. Among their starting defence, they've got Brian Hodnett and Paul Ring, two very experienced and good young players, experienced for their age, it should be clarified. McGreevy will look to get scores up front. He's flanked by Gore and Deneen. Of course, Gore part of the Cork senior setup, and they'll hope that his experience and physicality will make a difference today. So we've been speaking about him in the build-up. Gavin O'Brien, who won a junior All-Ireland with Kerry, now part of the Kerry senior setup. Tomás, he could be so important for CIT today.
He will be, yeah. He's burst onto the inter-county scene with Kerry in the last 18 months or so, and he's a very accomplished footballer, very good ball carrier, very comfortable on the ball, and he's wearing 12 this evening. It'll be interesting to see if he stays wing forward. You see in the modern game, a lot of wing forwards get up and down the pitch, and he'll link the play, and I think that's what he'll bring to the game this evening.
Sean Meehan of Mary Immaculate College, he has a tough job today trying to shut out that CIT defence, but what we know about him is all positive, Tomás.
It is, yeah. Again, he's made a good impression with the Cork under-20s, and he's a strong defender, and I'd imagine you'll see his battle today to kind of hold that middle of the defence and try and shore that up. And I think that the key challenge for Mary I is to try and force Cork IT to take shots outside their comfort zone, try and force them out to the wings, and I think that'll be one of his key roles today.
CIT doing the final huddle. And Damien Gore, we spoke about him and how important he is to CIT, and how guys who are involved in senior county setups are kind of expected to drive on college teams. He's no exception.
Yeah, not only drive on, but use it as an opportunity to kind of keep the momentum going. And if you're in with an inter-county setup for the last couple of weeks, you've probably got good training underneath your belt. You're getting good competitive matches in National League, and Cork being in Division 3, they're in a position where they're coming out on top of games. They're getting a lot of possession and a lot of opportunities. And again, it's an opportunity for Damien to take another step this evening.
Well, as we say, perfect conditions for football. This pitch has seen a lot of action in the last couple of days, a lot of high-class games, but it's still in absolutely amazing order. Patrick Darcy, Cathal O'Mahony beside him in the forward line, and they will hope to get the right kind of ball to do damage to CIT.
Yeah, well, Colin Manny's a fine footballer. He's been really impressive for Cork at underage in the last number of years, and he's making the step up into the senior team. So he'll be the main man for Mary I tonight. And I think already it looks as though number 7 Paul Ring is going into full back to mark him, and he's obviously been detailed to pick him up from the start.
Well, an interesting link between the referee and the Sigerson Cup, which of course is the tier above. Martin McNally is a late replacement for David Goff, who's unwell. Martin McNally from Monaghan. David Garland serves as one of his umpires on occasion, and of course David Garland was part of the DCU Docus Éireann team that won the Sigerson Cup last week here. So the GA is quite a small world, isn't it?
It sure is, it sure is.
Well, CIT going on the attack. Gavin O'Brien spilling it out there, and Murphy's on it. Murphy launching what he hopes will be the first shot for a score in the game, and it's wide. Mary I aren't dropping players back. A lot of people expected that they'd just throw everyone behind the ball for the first half and try to hang in there.
Yeah, no, in fairness, obviously, look, we're in the very early stages, but early on it looks as though they're going to set up man on man, and they have a bit of a kick out routine worked out there as well, where you can see their centre back Sean Meehan breaking out to the wing, and no, unfortunately the goalie didn't find him. But no, it doesn't appear that they're getting too many bodies back. There's one or two filtering back now. If the build up is slow, they'll get guys back, but Cork IT will have an opportunity to get it inside if they get it in early.
Hodnett took a good mark there, but Mary Immaculate College broke it down well. Recent Fitzgibbon and Trench Cup winners. A college that wouldn't be massive in numbers, but has had a massive impact in a success sense. Luca Brosnan looking for a 1-2, pops it off to Darren McGarrett from Galway. Now on the run is Barry Goldrick. It's broken down by the Cork Institute of Technology to give them their full title. Brian Hodnett on it now, moves it out to the man who's wearing number 6 in the centre back, Owen Lavers. Not quite as breezy as it was the last couple of days that we've been out here. No one is more relieved than the production crew and the camera people up top. CIT building slowly. Gavin O'Brien, we mentioned him before the game, really didn't set his sights for that one, and it's out for a wide.
It is. That's the second wide for Cork IT, and both shots, they've both been taken from probably about 35 yards out, and I'd say the management would like to see the players kind of working it in a little bit closer, a little bit of a higher percentage position, rather than, you know, they're under pressure kicking them, and you know, they can be low percentage, so I think you'll see them trying to get it into the full forward line and try and work a better chance.
Mary I giving it away from the kick out. Killian O'Hanlon coming down the line, the Cork senior player. Quite a lot of Cork experience in the Cork IT lineup between under 20s and senior. A lot of these guys would have won an under 20 All Ireland under Keith Ricken last year, the former CIT manager, and still their GAA officer. That's dropped into a bit of space, and it's guided over for the first score of the game from the boot of Kevin O'Donovan, who's one of those senior players that we spoke about.
He is, yeah, and again it came from the kick out. Mary I have lost their first couple of kick outs, and you know, they can't keep giving the possession straight back to Cork IT because it'll be hard to keep them out for as long. So another opportunity, and again it's another, that's 3 in a row now they're after losing on their own kick out. CIT with all the possession so far. Sean Daly coming forward, played a bit of under 21 for Cork when it was that great. Dropped in again by Kevin O'Donovan. That's a little snipe shot from the corner. If that goes over, it's a good score. Excellent stuff from Daniel Deneen, the ex-Cork minor. It is, and it was a very good ball in by Kevin O'Donovan and the Nemo Rangers forward. So he's a point himself and an assist straight away after it. And again, this is where Mary I are going to have to work something in their kick out. They can't just keep, they're trying to find the pockets out around the 45, and Cork IT are just sitting their wing forwards in there, and they've picked them off the last few times.
CIT missing a few players through injury, including Sean Fitzgerald, Daniel O'Connell, Blake Murphy and James Crean, who's from Ounaskol and Kerry. So possibly of the actual Creans. It felt quite arctic up here at the weekend, not as bad this evening. Gavin O'Brien coming forward. Gavin O'Brien cuts through. The last thing Mary I need to do now is concede an early goal. Gavin O'Brien! Good save by the goalkeeper. He almost gathered it again, and luckily for Mary I, he just couldn't get it either into his hands or onto his feet. It was 50-50.
It was, yeah. Again, it was a drive and run, and you could see the intent. The minute he got the ball, he wanted to go in at goal, and in fairness to the goalkeeper, he got his foot down, saved it with his right boot, and it squirmed out. And Gavin O'Brien was actually, he'd be disappointed he didn't get the rebound picked up into his hands, but it was bundled out then for a 45. Good
save by the goalkeeper, David Croke.
It was, yeah. In fairness, he got down low because there was a defender in front trying to block the ball, which could have left him one-sided, but he reacted very well.
David Croke from Holy Cross in Tipperary now. Taking the 45 is Kieran Murphy. Kerry junior player Kieran Murphy. He's kicked it wide.
not one of his better strikes. I think it was one of those ones he possibly tried to kick it a little bit too hard and totally lost any accuracy with it. So, but again, just to go back, Mary need a different setup on the kick out. They're trying to cluster all their defenders together with a view of breaking out to the space. But Cork IT aren't watching them. They're marking zonely, and it's a first win for Mary under a kick out.
And a desperately needed one, gathered by Killian Ruan. Ruan from County Clare. It's given away, cheap possession coughed up. Sean Daly is onto it. CIT absolutely cruising at the moment. Damien Gore, who played well on Sunday for Cork. Taking off is Sean Daly. On the loop, Damien Gore. Good score, very good score. It's been a big couple of days for him. Did well against Down at the weekend for Cork in their win. And as we say, has picked up where he's left off.
Yeah, very nice. Again, he went at it at pace, and then when he realised it wasn't in along the end line, he cut back and just swung it over on his left foot. And that Cork IT forward line have got off to a good start.
And I think we're seeing the difference between the squads already, in a sense that CIT just have that bit more experience, that bit more guile, and now they're looking for those few more scores, or at the very least one. It's Kevin O'Donovan. That's going to drop. It's awkward, it's bouncing. It's very good work by Conor Byrne. McGarrett. Colin Barrett into the hands of McGarrett, who looks a bit of a player, good link man, which is tough to do. Colin Barrett. Mary with two inside, but CIT have a spare man back there, and that's a really strong hand in. And the free out is one.
Yeah, that's a good turnover from a Cork IT perspective. The full back line were out in front inside as well, so there wasn't an obvious kick pass on and forced Mary to carry it into contact, and they got the turnover.
Lovely little threaded kick pass to Kevin O'Donovan. And I know that CIT were desperately disappointed to go down last season, but at the moment they look good to hop straight back up. Whoever wins today will replace Athlone IT in both Division 1 and the Sigerson Cup next season. Here's Daniel Deneen. Daniel Deneen taking off. Deneen still going. Deneen goes to ground. No penalty, says the ref. Foot block, free out.
I think it was for picking it up off the ground. I think it was Gavin O'Brien picked it off the ground, and again the intent from Deneen, and you've seen it in the other corner with Damien Gore, and the two corner forwards are very keen to get at that goal when they get an opportunity.
Advantage being played for Mary I. Now it's 1-on-2, but let's see if they can do anything here. Trying to run onto it is Patrick Darcy. Darcy! Oh, he's very unlucky. Didn't even get the 45 out of it. It's gathered by Anthony Casey. Really good block, though.
I think 14 is Colin O'Mahony. I think they switched jerseys beforehand. I think that's one of those ones with Mary I. And again, he's the guy they want to get the ball into. And you could see he'd goal on mind the minute he got it, and it was well defended. He was two defenders up against him.
Yeah, a couple of late switches, jersey-wise and number-wise, for Mary I, which, as you can imagine, commentators absolutely love. CIT have got the free in.
They have, yeah, and it is, and you can see there's a number of changes, and again, look, I don't think they're going to be fooling anyone on the Cork IT sideline in terms of the changes. Everyone will know who Colin O'Mahony is when he's out there, but again, it was unfortunate from a Mary I perspective that they couldn't turn it into a score, because that was the first real attack that they've had.
Can Damien Gore turn this into a score for CIT? He can indeed. Really good one as well.
Again, Mary I are still sticking to the same kick-out routine, and it hasn't really been working, so I think they're going to have to give their goalkeeper a bit of help here.
It can be tough with college teams. Maybe they don't get the time that county teams and club teams get to plan. That's a beautiful take by Kieran Murphy. And a booming crossfielder destined for Gavin O'Brien. And Gavin O'Brien took the mark well and took his score well.
He did. That was interesting, because obviously we're in the early stages of the advanced mark. Like, Gavin didn't signal for the mark there. My understanding is he's meant to stop and put up his hand. I know the referee, obviously, blew the whistle to acknowledge it, but Gavin was happy enough to keep playing. But it was a beautiful crossfield ball, beautifully executed skill, and Gavin, the minute he got it, he knew a score was on from play. He didn't need to stop for the mark, and excellent score.
David Croak. CIT break it down again. Swept up by the Hoover that is That CIT midfield, this time it's Mark Buckley. Mary I defend it. They desperately need a score. They desperately need it soon. They're 5 points to no score down. They were unlucky with a goal chance a couple of minutes ago. Cathal O'Mahony forcing a good, I was going to say save, but block down. This is a good charge down the left by Goldrick. Goldrick cutting in and then going back out. Free in for Mary Immaculate College.
Yeah, that's twice he's made good runs down the pitch, and again I suppose he just has to be careful he doesn't run into a dead end. He carried it a long way, he'd gone past a couple of his teammates, and he did get fouled when he was coming back out, but you know, he can't run past the support. He's got to try and bring others into the play. Even a little give and go as he's on his way might help him make more inroads into that. But here's a great opportunity for Mary I to get onto the scoreboard.
Been a long 10 minutes for them. Here is Cathal O'Mahony, now wearing the number 14 jersey. Cathal O'Mahony gave it plenty of air and gave it enough accuracy, and that is a big boost for Mary Immaculate College.
Yeah, beautiful strike, really confident, put down off the ground and clipped it over, and that'll be that's a great start for Mary I in terms of getting onto the board.
And that's a poor kick out from Anthony Casey. Cool it down, says the referee. Luca Brosnan tries to find his man. His man was stuck to, but did well to keep the ball in hand. It's Cathal O'Mahony. O'Mahony from play. That is a beautiful score by Cathal O'Mahony. His second.
That's as good a score as you'll see. Like, I know you're talking about this is the second tier competition in college football, but I don't know if there's anyone who's got a good a score in Sigerson all year. Is that he came out, won a really tough ball, turned two men, and then outside of the boot. That's absolutely class.
Oh, that is beautiful. Reminds me of a young Tomas Quinn. Well, you're still young. You're still young. Younger Tomas Quinn. Kieran Murphy. Into the corner it goes. Good mark taken, and Mary Immaculate are beginning to find their way in this game a little bit.
They are, and it just shows the importance of actually getting onto the scoreboard, because after the first point to free, they won the kick out. They forced the poor kick out from Cork IT, and that obviously got them their second point, so they'll obviously try and build on that and hold possession down here for a number of minutes now.
He looks a live wire, Barry Goldrick.
Again, they've lost their shape inside a little bit. They've all come out the pitch, and you know they've a man on the ball now in the far corner, but he's no support. Yeah,
support is coming from Goldrick. Goldrick has a man inside. That's Colin Barrett. Barrett's going to go for this, and Barrett gets it. Well, there's nothing wrong with their shooting. 3 beautiful scores.
Very good. That's a brilliantly executed score. That's a tough kick as well, outside the left foot on the wrong side for a left footer, and he swung it straight over the bar. And again, Cork IT have gone short with the kick out to try and make sure they maintain possession here.
Are you surprised CIT didn't close down on him there? He'd all the time in the world to shoot. Beautiful a shot as it was, he did have the time.
Yeah, I'd say they were probably a little bit surprised that he took the shot on from there. Again, we talked about high percentages and low percentages earlier on with Cork IT, and again, he got that one there, but I don't know if you gave him the ball 15 times, how many times what his success rate would be.
Damien Gore involved again as CIT work it on that far side. Kevin O'Donovan goes back outside. Back into the path now of Daniel Deneen. Deneen outside. Back into the path of Chris O'Donoghue. Kerry under 20 last year, Chris O'Donoghue. Adam McAuliffe. What can he do? Gavin O'Brien looks to take on players. Every time he gets the ball, creates a bit of space for his teammate, who pops it back to Gavin O'Brien. Gavin O'Brien, while moving away from goal, that is a lovely strike.
Yeah, another well taken score, and again Gavin's made a good start to the game, and it's just the intent he goes with when he gets the ball. He's no issue taking a man on, and that time there he worked it very well with Kieran Murphy, and Kieran's had a big influence on the game. He's won a number of clean kick outs, and he's had a couple of assists now as well, and they've been two of Cork IT's better players so far.
The manager, Conor Kelleher, comes from a family with a real Sigerson Cup and higher education competitions pedigree. Here's Goldrick again. He's like Sonic the Hedgehog. Every time he gets that ball, he goes with it. Oh, jinxed him. Here's Kieran Murphy. Larbers. That's good work by the cornerback. He held his man up well, Conor Byrne. Barrett got that beautiful point a couple of minutes ago.
this is where it will be interesting to see how Mary I again. A couple of times we've seen them slow in their build up and they're carrying the ball and they've only one man inside, and I think they're going to need to, if they can, move it forward a little bit quicker, because at this stage they're letting Cork IT get a lot of defenders behind the ball.
McNeve, who was part of the team that won the Trench Cup a couple of years back, gets it to Diarmid O'Mahony, or I beg your pardon, that's Ross Coleman. Another one of those late changes.
Yeah, and he was fouled, and there's back chat there from Cork IT, so the ball's been brought in, so it'll be an easier chance for Cathal O'Mahony, and it's straight in front of the post, so you'd imagine this should be pretty straightforward for someone of his calibre.
He kind of clipped the referee while trying to stop there. And a yellow card to come for Gavin O'Brien. Was it for something he said, or was it for his failure to stop? I'm not sure. So here we go through Cathal O'Mahony. Looking for his third point and to narrow it to a 2-point game. And that's a nice and well-struck free.
It is really well taken, and look, Mary I have to be very happy when you look at it. I don't think they had any score on the board after 10-11 minutes, and you know, it looked as though Cork IT were going to be fairly comfortable, and they've had a really good response, 4 points in the last 4 minutes, and they've looked a lot more dangerous when they're attacking.
Donahue ran onto that well. That was a good kick out from Casey. Sometimes it takes a couple of minutes to get that kick out right. Killian O'Hanlon getting his hands on it, and now a charge follows. What a surge forward this is from Killian O'Hanlon. Mary I get it back again. Oh, bit of a slip up there. Trying to get in is Damien Gore. Gore recycles. Deneen curls it over.
Yeah, that's one that Mary I probably gave back to him a little bit with the turnover, but again, it was the two corner forwards. The two Cork IT corner forwards have been very sharp, Damien Gore and Daniel Deneen, and Gore fed Deneen and he clipped it over, but it was a disappointing turnover for Mary I defensively.
Nice finish, but as you say, a present. Really well taken by Goldrick. Or Colin Barrett, I beg your pardon.
Yeah, that was a better kick out again. That was much more favoured his own man from the goalie. So again, they'll be looking for more of that as they come on the attack.
Patrick Darcy, lovely foot pass. Dermot Coughlin. Coughlin from a tough angle, can't draw it back in. Dermot Coughlin, another one of the late number switches.
Yeah, again, it was good defensively from Cork IT. In fairness, they forced him wide, and you could see him, he was slightly off balance as he was kicking it, and never got his foot around it.
Mary Immaculate College kind of bunching around the middle. Cork IT tried to get around that by going wide. They have beautiful facilities in Cork Institute of Technology. Their GA pitch has a stand, which I'm not sure how many it can hold, but it's one of the best places to watch football. Here is pretty decent as well. Long delivery inside. Who's it going to drop to? Really hard work there from Dermot Coughlin, who dropped back to win it. Mary Immaculate College, actually, speaking of facilities, have a fantastic pitch, and the way their hall is, there's actually kind of an overlooking platform onto the pitch. It's a really nice place to go and watch football or hurling. Here's Gavin O'Brien. O'Brien, is he going to go for goal? I think he is. Oh, good block. Referee says play on because he threw his body at it, so it wasn't a foot block. Good call. Good pass.
Really good pass there.
Coleman, can he find his man inside? He could, but he couldn't make it stick to the hands. Cathal O'Mahony was a tough one to take because he'd half the CIT defence hanging off him, and the CIT go on the break. O'Donovan lets it go. Gavin O'Brien. O'Brien with a miscue. Or is that the forward inside who slipped up? Whose fault is that?
I think they were both trying to do the right thing. I think Gavin probably kicked it slightly early, as in I think the defender or the forward was trying to keep going away.
Oh, what a catch that is. That is a fantastic mark by Cathal O'Mahony. And that's what it's all about. CIT had 2 men back, but Mary Immaculate College are likely going to get a score here because they had a man inside who could catch the ball. That's what those rules are all about.
And again, a little bit of lack of discipline where the defender didn't retreat quick enough, or someone said something to the referee. So now Cahill has a much more straightforward. Again, he can put it off the ground, and you'd imagine it's going to be another score. And they were unlucky with another ball into him a minute ago, and it just broke off his hands. But you can see every time the ball goes up, he's got, he's likely to win it, and he's been very, very good every possession he's had. But I think just to go back to Gavin O'Brien's effort on goal, again, the minute he got the ball, he had the head down, he was going fast at the goal, and it looked like it was the defender. It was kind of a last ditch jump in front of it, and I'd say he was just far enough away to for it not to be given as a foot block for the referee.
Well, it is a Cork man who's doing a lot of damage to CIT. Cahill O'Mahony from Mitchelstown. They go through the hands again. Can they finish with the score? Waiting out wide was Ross Coleman. Coleman recycles. Barry Goldrick. Nice running off the shoulder. Dermot Coughlin finds the cornerback who'd come all the way up. That was Conor Byrne. And they found a way through as well. And here's Coughlin on his knees, still gets the ball away. Patrick Darcy puts it wide, a disappointing wide.
Yeah, and I'd say they'd be disappointed that with the fall, Dermot Coughlin fell. He kind of stumbled as he was coming in, because that was a great opportunity and possibly a goal opportunity if he kept his feet.
Casey booms it into the centre. It's 2-on-1, and he did really well to hold off his man Luca Brosnan and then run onto the break. Lets it go to Byrne. Byrne's got a bit of pace about him. Here's Goldrick with Byrne back outside. Goldrick could go himself here. He's still going, Goldrick. There's danger for CIT. Byrne goes to ground, and somehow the goal is evaded. Well, was it a penalty? And should they have scored? They might not be done with this attack. No, it's spilled out over the line by Killian Rowan.
I have to say, it'd be interesting to see the penalty, but I thought incident to see it. I thought it was a penalty myself. I thought when Goldrick laid it off here, looked as though the corner forward was pulled to the ground. I'm a corner forward, and I'm going to say that was a foul, but might have been slightly soft. But again, it was borderline.
I think maybe what makes it look like a foul is the fact that his arms were on him, but he didn't. Like, there was no kind of pull down motion, so I can understand why the ref who's closer to it didn't give it. But here's CIT, Murphy. That's handled on the ground. Good spot, free out.
Yeah, you can hear the Cork IT management saying don't open your mouth, because again the free was moved up. I think that's 3 or 4 times now that the Cork IT have lost yards again just from lack of discipline.
McNeve. Nothing too planned about that, just lump it down the line, and why not do that tactic when it works? O'Mahony fancies this. O'Mahony, oh, that is an absolute beauty of a score.
That's sensational. He's been absolutely brilliant so far in the first 22 minutes, and again he's shown it all. He can get out, win a ball out in front, and not a bother. He's running full speed and swings it over on his left foot, and he's been the star man. He's been the best player on show by a mile this evening so far, and he's keeping Mary I very close in this game. 2 from play and 3 from what we'll call place balls. I think one of them was a mark which he took off the ground. He won the mark himself, obviously. Murphy. CIT try and inject a bit of pace. Kevin O'Donovan. A looping run from Deneen. Fancies another one, gets another one. Really good score by Deneen, his 3rd. Yeah, very slick, and again it came from the win and the kick out. Kieran Murphy again, big number 8 for Cork IT, won his own kick out, 1 possession, delivered a good ball in, and he actually followed it in after, gave a good option, and even the run he made brought a defender off, which left Deneen enough time to just clip it over.
It's a really intriguing game. It is not going according to script. I know there's a long way to go, but Mary I hanging on in there with some nice scores. CIT with the bulk of the possession. They've had 1 or 2 what you might call half goal chances, but nothing too clear cut yet. They might create one here. It's spilled by Deneen. Gore wants it back, trying to get it up into the hand is Kevin O'Donovan. I think
it's a 45, yeah.
It's a 45. Good work by O'Donovan inside. Just made it stick, and Mary I had to put it out. As we say, it's a sport that people are passionate about, and sometimes the language is somewhat passionate. Here's Gavin O'Brien. Gavin O'Brien Oh, that's a lovely score. Even nicer because it's kind of the outside of the boot. Bit like James McCarthy's the other night, which was added to by hitting off the woodwork. A score is always added to regardless of code, yeah.
It does always look better, but that was a brilliant step. Brilliant bounce dummy as well inside his man. And again, Gavin's been excellent so far and having a big impact on this game.
3 for him so far, all from play obviously. Well taken, good win. It's that man again, Gavin O'Brien. Turning and twisting his gore. Hodnett. Cillian O'Hanlon involved. Pop back to Owen Lavers. McAuliffe getting into it, the corner back. It's not quite a full court press because CIT do have 2 players inside, well 3 if you count the goalkeeper, inside their own half, but it's not far off it.
No, and
Kieran Murphy.
And again, the Mary Eye defence, they were all kind of out around the 45. It's not as if they're all sitting back, but now they've found a gap through it here.
Lavers! Oh, what a finish! What a goal by Owen Lavers.
Brilliant goal and brilliant patience in the build-up, because again they looked like they were going nowhere. They were going to cross and back around the 45, and then they injected some pace and the run from deep, and a brilliant finish across the keeper into the far corner. Excellent goal.
6 between them, and despite all Mary Immaculate College's effort and endeavour, there's a big gap open as we come up to half-time. Can they stop the rot or maybe chip away at the lead? They're not going to do it like that. Brian Hodnett intercepting. Gavin O'Brien running off the shoulder, making himself an option again. Gavin O'Brien over carries, and Mary I think it's fair to say catch a break.
Yeah, I don't know if he overcarried it there. He took a big dummy step, but I don't think he took too many steps, so I'm not sure that was the right call.
Mary Immaculate College on the wing, on the attack. Into the hands of Patrick Darcy. Plenty of options there. CIT getting back in numbers. Byrne. And here he goes again. Barry Goldrick. Goldrick goes for it. His team needs something, but I don't think he's got it.
No, it's a pity because he's got through a lot of work so far in the first half, and he's helped bring Mary I back into the game, but he'd be disappointed with that. They could have done with a score to get back, to get things ticking over again after conceding that goal.
Casey. Pushing the back, well spotted. Little nudge on Kieran Murphy as he went up. Yeah, you can just see it there. McNeve leaving something on Murphy, but certainly a foul. O'Hanlon with the little show and go again. O'Hanlon off to Gavin O'Brien. Another goal could kill off Mary I. O'Brien is going for it. O'Brien flashes it over for a point.
Yeah, again, he'll obviously deem that as a missed opportunity. The intent again was for goal, and he probably just leaned back a little bit as he was kicking it, didn't get over enough, and probably a let off for Mary I. But some really good work there around the middle again. Kieran Murphy winning primary possession, and when he laid it off, it was Cillian O'Hanlon who drove on with it.
Mary Immaculate College, well, they know it probably would have been curtains had a goal gone in there, but as it is, they're hanging on in there. David Croke. Looks really old school with that jersey and the black gloves, doesn't he? Looks like a FA Cup goalkeeper from the 1960s.
He does, and the socks pulled up as well. He has that look to it, all right.
We could go back even further and say maybe Harry Gregg, formerly of Manchester United. A hero of Munich, pulled people out of the fire quite literally. Very interesting man to chat to. Here come Mary Immaculate College. That's a really good hand in, and it's followed by a foul. I think he knew he had to stop him there, Darren McGarrett.
Yeah, I think he's going to get a yellow card for his troubles, but it was one of those. Sometimes you hear a smart foul because they'd kind of committed a lot of men forward, and I think they were probably left exposed a little bit, so he kind of took one for the team there, diving in and bringing down Cillian O'Hanlon. But again, Cork IT. Black card
for Darragh McGarrett, and that is massively damaging. Well, they'll hope to be able to hang on in there for the rest of the half, but they'll start the second half and play a significant chunk of that start of the second half with just 14.
Yeah, the referee obviously deemed it as a trip rather than just a foul. So obviously a trip is a black card offence.
Well, it would have been a clever foul had he only been given a yellow card, but he's been given a black card. Can his team hang on? Daniel Deneen takes the mark and surely will pop this one over. That's a let-off for Mary Immaculate College Limerick, and one Daniel Deneen won't look back on with any great amount of joy.
Yeah, it is a bit of a let-off, and look, we're coming into the last couple of minutes of injury time for at the end of the first half, and you think Mary I be keen to try and get down and get another score before the break if possible.
They're turned over though, and Kevin O'Donovan. However, that's really good work by Killian Rowan. Mary Immaculate College, nothing wrong with their work rate. Chasing back after Killian Rowan. Had a free man in the centre of the park. That was James McNeve. He didn't spot him. We didn't get a sign telling us how much injury time that there is. David Goff, the man who was supposed to be here for this game to referee it, explaining very well on radio last night how referees keep time and what they do. Now on the charge is Dermot Coughlin. Referee blows the half-time whistle, and Cork Institute of Technology are looking good for the Electric Ireland Trench Cup title as we speak. Gavin O'Brien, you can see him there wearing number 12, has been excellent so far. 4 points from play, could have had a goal. Half-time, Cork Institute of Technology 110, Mary Immaculate College Limerick 6 points. So let's have a look at some of the scores from the first half, and Tomas Quinn, there was some good ones as well, wasn't there?
There was, yeah, and in fairness, Cork IT got off to a fast start. Kevin O'Donovan sung the first one over, and then I think their corner forwards between Gore and Deneen both got on the scoreboard a couple of times, and then obviously Gavin O'Brien then with his direct running. But you can see their interplay up front. When they're smart, they move it quickly, and they can be very accurate as well. And they got some good scores on the board early.
Some very good scores, and that was a lovely ball across to Gavin O'Brien.
He's got on a mountain of possession out on the left half forward spot.
Cathal O'Mahony has kept his team in it with some fine scores from place balls and frees.
He has, and again, this is as good a score as you'll see in college football this year. Out winning the tough ball in front, turned two men and outside the boot and swung it over. And for a guy who didn't get a lot of possession early on, every time he's touched the ball, he's shown a touch of class.
That was a nice score as well, wasn't it? That came from Colin Barrett, the wing back.
It was, and that was a good run of possession. That was a good run, a few minutes for Mary I, and they were getting back into the game slowly. And the lack of discipline a little bit from Cork IT helped with that in terms of bringing them with frees. But slowly, a couple of turnovers themselves at the back, and Cork IT turned the screw a little bit.
And every time he got the chance, O'Mahony, he did damage. As did this man, Goldrick. Was this a penalty?
Yeah, look, I have seen them given. Genuinely, I think the two hands were wrapped around the waist, and again, you might debate how much he actually pulled them down, but again, I don't think there was an intent to tackle, so it happens quickly, but I wouldn't think it was too soft to have given a penalty there, as we see another brilliant score from Cathal O'Mahony.
And this is another one from Deneen, took it well.
Yeah, Deneen and Gore both been very, very lively up front, and again, this is back to Gavin O'Brien. Very, very impressive bounce that went inside. And
here's the goal. This is a big moment in this game, or could prove to be, certainly. Lavers cutting through.
It is, and you could see, if you go back to the start of it, you could actually see coming from deep, and the runner, no one tracked him at all, and he came through a pace, and it's very hard for a full-back to try and go and meet him then when he's coming at him, and very little the goalkeeper could do.
A bit like Barry Cahill when he used to charge up back in the day. You'd think of that goal against Kildare. So at the break, Cork Institute of Technology are very much in control in this Electric Ireland Trench Cup final. Remember, this is a massive encounter because the winners will play Division 1 and Sigerson Cup football next season. We'll be back with the second half shortly. At the break, it is the Cork Institute of Technology 110, Mary Immaculate College 6 points.
Very nice for a camper van. That windows. It's got a sitting room for cars.
Welcome back to the DCU Sports Grounds. We're about to start the second half of the Electric Ireland Trench Cup final between the Cork Institute of Technology and Mary Immaculate College. CIT leading by 7 at the break, 110 to 6 points. And as you can see, O'Mahony has done an awful lot of damage for Mary Immaculate College. He's actually a Cork under 20, was Player of the Year last year. So he'd be known well to the CIT staff and players. Lavers from Dunmanway with the goal, one of 3 Donny's men on the CIT team, and they're lucky to start early here. Can he whip that one over? No, he can't. It was close from Damien Gore, but not close enough.
It was, and again, I like the speed at which Cork IT try and get the ball into the inside forward line. They know their full forward line are on top, and again, they won the throw in, moved it through the lines, quick kick pass to the half forward line, another kick pass inside, and just Gore was just a little bit unlucky on his right foot this time, just pushed it a little bit wide.
Colin Barrett involved again, charging on is Killian Rowan. Nice movement. Here's Ross Coleman. Coleman with the dummy hand pass back to Patrick Darcy. Mary Immaculate College, who had a good shout for a penalty in the first half and had a man black carded. He's still off, by the way. That's a Darragh McGarrett. So they have started the second half with just 14 men.
Yeah, it'll be important to try and stay in the game in that period. You know, they're obviously coming under pressure at the end of the first half as it was with 15, and you know, if they're going to have any chance of winning this game, they're going to have to try and at least break even in these 10 minutes while they're a man down.
Don't forget, this is the first of a double header this evening. The Electric Ireland Fitzgibbon Cup final taking place at 7:30. IT Carlow against UCC. Will we see a Cork double this evening? That, of course, on the Sports TG Cahir YouTube channel. You can also catch it through electricireland.ie/HEC. That's a shot from a bit of space. If that goes over, it's a good one as well from Kieran Murphy. It hasn't, though.
No, again, and that was probably something we saw in the early stages of the first half as well. Probably forcing a couple of shots from a distance where he probably doesn't need to be shooting from. I think they've seen when they've shown when they can get it inside to Gore and Deneen, it's working better, and I think he'd be better served trying to do that the next time.
Referee, is he going for the pocket or is he just having a word? He's just having a word.
I think that the Cork IT full forward line have been quite loud. They're obviously, there's a lot of shouting. They're trying to add confusion to the Mary I goalkeeper, and I don't think the referee liked it. So I think he's asked them to, I think he's gone in and told them it's not acceptable.
Batted down out of the sky by O'Hanlon. Good win of possession for his team. Referee wants a word now with Killian Rowan. Yellow card.
Yeah, I don't know if that was a yellow card offence. Again, it was a free, but it seems like a soft booking, and again, unless there was something else, unless it's accumulation of fouls, but certainly for that incident it seemed harsh.
Bottled up was Deneen. He spilt it, and then it's picked up by Luca Brosnan. Really good work by Luca Brosnan from Castle Island and Kerry. Driving on is Sean Meehan. Mary Immaculate College, nothing wrong with their work rate. Meehan involved again. Can they find a way through? They'll hope to through Patrick Darcy. Darcy at a tight angle. Wins the free in. That's really good work from the Limerick College.
It was, and again, unfortunately, while he got tangled up a little bit, they'd a runner coming from deep going through the middle, which might have freed up a goal opportunity. I think it was Dermot O'Mahony had made a brilliant run down through the middle on the blind side, but unfortunately they couldn't get across to see him.
So here's Barry Goldrick. A fine and much needed score. Barry Goldrick from Claregalway in Galway. I was about to say I wish I was on the N17, but that's no more. It's now the M17. Oh, that's a good interception from Goldrick, and he's won the free in.
It is, and again, it was a poor kick out, and again, the fact that Cork IT are open man, you would have felt that they would have had an opportunity to get it off short to the spare man, but it was intercepted again very well by Goldrick, and he's an opportunity. And this would be a great start from Mary I if they can get 2 points on the board again, starting the half well, and particularly while they're a man down with the sin bin.
Goldrick looking for 2 in a row, and that's good. The white flag a little slow in being raised, but it did go up in the end. All 4 umpires and all the lines people from DCU.
Yeah, that was good again. You can see the Mary I forward line. They're trying to split the defenders and try and force them long, and again he's done that.
Really good win of possession there, getting his hands on it to just bat it down. Kieran Murphy knew that he possibly couldn't take it cleanly. Here's Lavers, who got that great goal in the first half. Lavers, not Lavers. Good ball down the line, and it's Mark Buckley. Chris O'Donoghue, who is on the near side here, screaming for the ball, but no one spotted him. Good ball inside. Gore turning and twisting and shooting, and the end of that sentence is scoring.
Yeah, again, Damien Gore again, it just goes back to showing how sharp he is out in front, wins possession, and he kind of threatened to go in along the end line, cuts back, and on the right foot again, swings it over the bar. And again, when Cork IT get ball inside to the two men inside, they're doing a lot of damage.
Mary winning their own kick out. Here's Goldrick moving on. Inside of him is Killian Rowan. That's the option he went to. Not a fair shoulder, says the referee. Free in for Mary Immaculate College.
Yeah, slightly mistimed again. I think he did go into shoulder him, but he probably caught him just on the side as he turned. And you
kind of more behind him, wasn't it? Yeah, good call, good call.
No, it was a free, yeah.
Killian Rowan. Well, he'd be a big loss if he was to go off. Killian Rowan.
He would, and again, look, Colin Manny's going to have a chance to put the ball down and have a shot at goal here from the free. And look, while Killian is genuinely injured, it is going to take a couple of minutes off the clock while the sim bin, while they have a player down. So I suppose from a Mary perspective, if he gets up and can return to play, then this isn't the worst thing in the world.
Well, they have about 2 more minutes of being down to 14 men, Mary Immaculate College. So in that time, if this goes over, which it well could from Cathal O'Mahony, they'll have scored, I think, 3 points, which isn't bad.
No, it's an important score. Again, you feel they're going to have to take nearly all their chances if they're going to keep pace with Cork. They can't afford to miss too much.
That's a good strike. Oh, that's a lovely point. Cathal O'Mahony has been on fire.
Yeah, he's shown a touch of class in everything he's done, and that was a really, really crisp strike. And again, the minute he left his boot, he knew it was over. He was running straight back into position for the kick out, and again, he was sure, he knew where it was going.
He is a class act, as we say, has represented Cork and represented them well at under 20 level. They won the All-Ireland last year. A standout player.
Yeah, that was another fantastic catch from Kieran Murphy, the Cork IT midfielder. He's won a couple of very high class possessions so far.
Buckley moved it inside to Gavin O'Brien, who's at a tight angle but makes an angle and gets a magnificent goal. Gavin O'Brien, I don't think you'll see a better strike than that in any competition. Gavin O'Brien, what a goal.
Yeah, fantastic finish, and look, it had been coming all night. Every time Gavin's got the ball, he's gone at goal with intent, and came from the kick out from the wind, the high catch, and once he cut inside, brilliant finish.
Gavin O'Brien, who's now on 1-4 for this game. And it's just as Mary Immaculate College go back up to 15, and that, even at this early stage, may put the game beyond Mary I. That's a really good fetch by Killian O'Hanlon, who played for Cork at the weekend just a couple of weeks after breaking his nose. That one's a wide from wing forward Mark Buckley.
Yeah, again, it's just that level of dominance they have in the middle between Killian O'Hanlon and between Kieran Murphy. The Cork and the Kerry man are dominating anything in the air, and they're winning primary possession, and they're putting Mary I on the back foot.
Giving away the line ball there was Conor Byrne. On the bunker side of the ground, as they call it. The CIT have a player down, that's Owen McGreevy. And they're continuing on with play regardless, despite the fact that St Finbarr's Owen McGreevy is still down. He's back up now, and he doesn't have a point to celebrate.
It's funny, the Cork IT management are shouting for a substitute, but I think the subs are barely getting his top off here. They're only coming in now. They're only ready to go now.
Well, James Crean was named to start, but has a hamstring injury, which is why he probably didn't, but he's coming on now. Well strapped up, that right hamstring. James Crean from Aunaskall and Kerry, an absolutely beautiful part of the world. and he is replacing Owen McGreevy. CIT on the move again. They're really on top. Chris O'Donoghue got his hands on it. Now it's moved inside to Mark Buckley. Buckley gets a shot away, and that's a good shot as well. Buckley popping it over.
Yeah, we've gone through these phases where Mary I seem penned into their own half and they just can't get the ball past midfield from the kick out. And you know, this dominance that the Cork IT have around the middle are finding it they're very much on top.
Croke goes with long delivery. Gathered well, gathered brilliantly, you'd have to say, by Conor Byrne. That's a free. If Mary I could get a goal in the next couple of minutes, it might reignite them. They have never given up at any stage in this game, to be fair to them, even though they are massively up against it here. Goldrick going again. Goldrick, one of the main reasons why Mary Immaculate College are, I was going to say still in this game, but when that second goal went in, it was hard to see a way back after that. However, they still see it, they're still working. Here's Goldrick again, he has options left and right. Advantage is coming to Mary I, they might need it. Barrett runs into a bit of trouble and wins the free very well. Good play from Colin Barrett, the wing back from Belmullet and Mayo.
Yeah, again, it was a good response. They worked the ball well through the hands, and the good thing from their point of view is they didn't force a shot under pressure.
Yellow card to Paul Ring, who was part of the Cork under-20 team last year.
Another opportunity for Cathal O'Mahony. And again, another very crisp strike. He's been exceptional from place balls this evening.
On my reckoning, that's 5 from place balls, and he's scored 2 from play as well. Go, go is the shout. Anytime CIT get the ball in any bit of space, going to ground, Gavin O'Brien, and he will surely get the free in, and has. And let's have a look. Kind of got a bit sandwiched there. CIT tried to work it. Deneen. Gore. Squeezes that one over. Exquisite stuff from Damien Gore.
Yeah, very, very impressive again, and it's Deneen to Gore, and between the two corner forwards, they're giving the two Mary I cornerbacks a really tough time this evening. I think the referee's after penalising the Mary I goalkeeper. I think one of his defenders was inside the semicircle, and if a defender's inside the semicircle with the new kick-out rule, then it's a throw ball at the 21-yard line. So I think that's what's happening here.
And it presents CIT with a real opportunity. It's collected by Gavin O'Brien. Gavin O'Brien ploughing through but spilling the ball. Referee stopped play because CIT have a man down injured. That's Kieran Murphy.
Yeah, I think he landed awkwardly, or he kind of got a dunt when he was in the air, challenging for the hot ball, and hopefully it's nothing serious. Hopefully it's not. Hopefully he didn't land awkwardly on his knee or anything like that.
Well, this is it. Murphy. I think he kind of fell awkwardly. Let's hope he's okay.
Yeah, he's comfortably being one of the best players on show here this evening. He's had a huge impact winning primary possession and setting up scores, and he's had a big role to play if CIT do go on and win this game, and it's disappointing for him, but hopefully the injury isn't too serious.
And there's no one in a rush to warm up on the CIT bench. They do have a player getting ready to come in. That's Conal Kennedy, who's a Tipperary senior player. Tipperary losing out to Derry at the weekend. A much needed win for Derry. Oh, he doesn't look overly comfortable. Let's hope for him that it doesn't look as bad as it appears. I don't ever want to make a comment or judgment on an injury when we're completely unqualified, but it doesn't look good, does it?
It doesn't, no, and like that, look, he's had a very, very positive performance tonight, and hopefully it doesn't turn out to anything long term.
So Conall Kennedy is on, as we say, a Tipperary inter-county player. Part of the Clonmel Commercials team that got to the AIB Munster Club final this year. Colin Barrett goes to ground. I wonder, will there be more action to follow? It's gone a bit scrappy in the last couple of minutes.
It was. Mark Buckley was tackling him there, and he was kind of slapping at him a little bit. And yeah, he had a bit of a slap right as the free had already been given. So yeah, you'd imagine it'll be yellow anyway.
Yellow card for Mark Buckley. Barrett. Long delivery into the corner. And that is a line ball from in or around where Mark Coleman scored his Fitzgibbon semi-final winning line ball. I'm not putting any pressure on whoever's going to take this from Mary I, but they know what's expected from that area of the field. Maurice Fitzgerald, maybe.
In fairness, Colin Manny's put on a show tonight, so I wouldn't be surprised to see him add to it here.
They're going to drop it in because they need goals. They have got it. Oh, a brave block from a CIT defender, but the danger not gone yet. And a free out. That was really good defending from the Cork Institute of Technology.
It was, yeah. He knew the danger, and in fairness, flung his body in front of it, and very, very brave and a very important block.
Chris O'Donoghue taking off. Inside it goes to Gavin O'Brien. From the neutral point of view, this game desperately needs a Mary Immaculate College surge. Adam McAuliffe. McAuliffe. Mark Buckley, who just picked up that yellow card, so he'll want to stay out of trouble for the rest of the game. Conall Kennedy. Brian Hodnett getting onto it there. Flicked forward by Paul Ring. Mary I turn it over. Goldrick. Barrett overlapping, but he goes for the underlap. Sean Meehan. Meehan going to ground under pressure from Hodnett, Lavers, I beg your pardon, and CIT go on the counter-attack, and they have numbers up there. Gavin O'Brien is tugged back, but the advantage is played. Here's Mark Buckley, aiming and shooting and scoring.
Yeah, I think the problem they had, first of all, when Mary I had the ball, they'd no one inside apart from Cathal O'Mahony, and Cork IT have two defenders left in on him at this stage, and it took Mark Deneen came up, and he was obviously coming from centre back, and when he got turned over, they were left exposed. They were left exposed at the back, and I suppose they were lucky that ended up only as a point. You know, possibly another day you might have seen Mark Buckley push on and try and work a goal, but they're as comfortable at this stage.
Ball goes out over the line for a line ball. And there's the manager, Conor Kelleher. You can see him there with a water bottle in hand, the CIT manager. Great take by Buckley. Spots the man running inside. That's Kennedy. Lovely foot pass into the corner. Kevin O'Donovan. Full forward James Crean onto it. And winning the free in the end, Kevin O'Donovan.
Yeah, Cork IT have been very hard to stop. In fairness, they're moving the front, and the inside line are giving them options every time out the pitch, and they are looking to kick it early, and then they get runners in at pace, and Mary I have struggled to contain them in this half.
That's curled over by Damien Gore.
Yeah, straightforward free for Damien, and again he just adds to his tally for the evening, and he's been one of the class performers on show.
Mary Immaculate College with the ball in hand. What can they do? But Cork IT win it back, and as we say, they have numbers. And here's Gore again. Gore elects to just fist it over.
Yeah, it came from a turnover, and again Mary I coming out of their own defence, and it was a sloppy hand pass, and it was again pushed straight back inside, and Damien Gore just adds to it, and again it took a sensible option coming in at a tight angle. Goalkeeper was rushing at him and just fisted it over the bar.
Well, CIT bench is right in front of our commentary position, and at half time we could hear them say don't let up, and to their credit they haven't. Mary Immaculate College trying desperately to find a way back. Here's Luca Brosnan. Advantage played, free one. Luca Brosnan kicks it in quickly. That's gathered well by Christy O'Hagan. Goldrick involved as well. Free in.
Yeah, it was a foul off the ball there. I think Christy O'Hagan, after laying the ball off, went to try and get involved again, and one of the Cork IT defenders pulled him, and the referee coming around, that was a good call, and again, what you'd imagine should be a pretty straightforward free for Cathal O'Mahony.
O'Mahony draws it in, and even though he is likely going to end up on the losing side, he is certainly a contender for man of the match or player of the match if we were to pick one. CIT through Gore, survives the jersey tug but wins the free in anyway. Advantage was played but no advantage accruing, so he gets the free in.
He does, and he'll have another opportunity now to add to his tally. He's been very smart, very sharp in play, and again you can see the two of them in shot there. 13 Damien Gore and 15 Daniel Deneen, and again the two lads inside, when they get possession into them early, the Mary I defenders have had no answer to them.
Popped over by Gore, good score.
You can see the Cork IT bench in front of us here. They're going to start running in a couple of subs, I'd say, at this stage, the way the scoreline is, and last 10 minutes. And number 19, Rory Maguire, is stripped and ready to go, and I think they're just trying to identify who they're going to take out from.
Rory Maguire, another one of the Cork under-20 crew from last year that won an All-Ireland title. Castlehaven, a really strong hold of football, and just another beautiful place. Home with the Cahalans. Geralt popped it off to the corner forward. That's Patrick Darcy.
Again, it's good work right from Cork IT. You know, you wouldn't know it looking at the scoreboard the way they're working out there. They're half forward line tracking back and forcing Mary I back and making it very hard for them.
A slip up, and it was intercepted in the end by fullback Sean Daly. Don't forget, at 7:30 on the Sport TG Cahir YouTube channel, it is the Electric Ireland Fitzgibbon Cup final between UCC, who are going for title number 40, and IT Carlow, who are going for title number 1. They've won the league a couple of times. They've got to a Fitzgibbon Cup final, but they've never actually won it. Mary Immaculate College beat them the last time they got there. They got a measure of revenge for that by beating Mary I in the semi-final, although that's one of those silly statements that doesn't actually mean anything, because so many of those players would have, I suppose, not been involved in 2016, 2017 when Mary I won 2 in a row under Eamon Cregan and then Jamie Wall. Free in for CIT, who are bringing in 2 subs. Also coming in is Mark Hodnett from Carbery Rangers.
Behind the goal, Chris! Well, then make sure Kevin goes back for him, because Kevin got the ball. No, Rory Maguire's going to have to go back. You're white. wide, Rory, still wide.
CIT on the probe for more scores. It's one of those weird situations, Tomas, and I'm sure you've been there with St. Vincent's and maybe in the odd Leinster final with Dublin, where you can really enjoy the last couple of minutes of a final victory. Having done all the hard work, having got there, having maybe stressed about whether you'd win or lose, this is a situation that teams don't often find themselves in, but I'm sure it's nice to be there.
It is,
and here comes Damien Gore. We'll come back to that point in just a moment. Measuring, shooting and hooking it over again. He's having a fantastic day.
Yeah, he's definitely enjoying himself out there, and it is, look, it's obviously, I think you said at the top of the broadcast that, look, Cork IT probably didn't intend to be here in the Trench Cup, but they're here and they've definitely made the most of it, and they've been very efficient in their performance. They've showed a lot of really good football, and you can see them, they're getting an opportunity. There's a couple of subs coming in and they're still going hard at it, and they've been very impressive.
Good take. Coming forward now, centre back Sean Meehan. Mary Immaculate College, I think it's fair to say, have just faded in this game a little bit, as good as CIT have been in the second half.
Yeah, I'd say we've only seen one or two subs introduced on them. They probably don't have that strength and depth either to come in and help them chase a game, and it's probably gone against them a little bit.
They might be in behind for a goal here. Oh, he was desperately unlucky, Luca Brosnan.
Yeah, really unfortunate, because they worked an opening really well through the hands, and you can see him on the edge of the space, and he came to hand and he just dragged it a little bit. Very unfortunate with the finish.
Well, they would have deserved a little moment to celebrate, because they've worked hard. It's tough to get to finals. Aaron Springs about to come in for CIT. Mary Immaculate College win the ball relatively high up the park. They haven't found themselves inside the CIT half too often in the second half of the second half, but that's well cut out by Owen Lavers. Well taken by Adam McAuliffe. Goes a little loose, but it's dusted off and tidied up by CIT again. Mark Buckley. Kevin O'Donovan back inside. Killian O'Hanlon on the charge. O'Hanlon knows the game is done, so he goes for a punt himself, and well, maybe he shouldn't.
Yeah, I think that was definitely one of those moments where he knew the game was over, and he fancied a shot at it, trying to get his name onto the score sheet, but it didn't work out.
The Electric Ireland man of the match, Gavin O'Brien from Kerry. What a game he has had. Scored a wonderful goal in the second half and scored some nice points from play as well. I think he is very much deserving of the honour. Mossy Quinn.
Yeah, he is. Look, he had a massive impact on it. He's been one of the best players, questionably the best player on show. And then I think Cathal O'Mahony from Mary I deserves a mention as well. It was very close between the two of them, but just I think Gavin's impact in terms of turning the game and pushing towards Cork IT towards the title is tipped it in his favour.
Pat Spillane among the players who've won this competition or its equivalent. Some big names down the years have lifted this trophy. And of course last year Letterkenny IT won it, and then this year they got to the Electric Ireland Sigerson Cup semi-final, beaten in Inniskeen by IT Carlow. Funnily enough, the man in black, Martin McNally, was the referee that night as well, by sheer coincidence.
Yeah, and you just saw Gavin O'Brien after getting named man of the match after winning the hot ball and getting fouled, and a straightforward free there, just clipped over the bar by James Crean. Yeah.
Keep working though, boys, we keep working. Well,
obviously Cork IT have kicked on in the last 15 minutes, but the scoreboard's a little bit harsh on Mary I. They did show flashes of some very good football, and I suppose they just couldn't get enough support up to Cathal O'Mahony up front, and possibly their own kick out as well. They struggled on that throughout the night and put them under pressure as well.
Great turnover!
Great turnover is the shout from Conor Kelleher, the CIT coach. His team have not let up at all. They haven't taken the foot off the face of Mary I. Killian O'Hanlon coming forward in a bit of space now is Aaron Springs. Springs goes backwards rather than forwards. Plays a good one too. Crean. Crean back outside. The shot from a tight enough angle, and it's wide. Again, won't matter too much in the overall context.
He won't, but you can see the intent that the substitutes have brought to it as well. I think you had Aaron Springs and you'd Crean out there as well, and you know they're obviously getting their opportunity to make an impact, and there's no kind of taking an easy option, and I suppose that's what's got them into this position.
Now an additional time, and Mary Immaculate College win a free out. I think at this stage they just want that final whistle blown, but the officials have to play the amount of extra time that is allotted, and with a couple of stoppages for injury in the second half, so it will be probably a few minutes. Can they finish with a flourish? He'd deserve a goal, but he doesn't get it through a good save. Cathal O'Mahony once again probing, but Anthony Casey showing why he's an inter-county keeper. Yeah, again, he tried to go around him at the angle, and in fairness, the keeper's footwork was very strong and got in and closed the angle down and made a good save. And a goal would have been just reward for O'Mahony's performance this evening. The aim was Goldrick, didn't find its way to him. But it is a free in. I think it's at the stage of the game now where obviously players are well aware that it's ticking into the end of the game, and they're obviously just playing out the last few minutes. But another opportunity here for O'Mahony to increase his tally for the evening with a free. A 7th point from a place ball for O'Mahony. He's a beautiful kicking style off the ground, and you can see distance isn't an issue. You know, that's still rising as it's going over the bar, and it'll be interesting to see him develop in terms of inter-county this year with Cork. I know he's had a good start to Division 3, and as the year progresses, as we see him in the summer, what impact he makes. And the mark is built for players like him. He must be praying that rule stays. Absolutely, the accuracy is shown, and I think he's a big year ahead of him. I had a chat with Johnny Cooper today actually, and he was saying that defenders are just going to have to adapt and maybe consider kind of trying to meet the ball more than wait for the forward to win it and see what happens, because if you wait now, they have a mark, they have a free shot at goal. Oh, there's no doubt. Point. Absolutely, yeah. That's a snipe from the corner. Is it a score? Yes, it is. That's a really good score. Yeah, again, Mark Buckley. Again, he's put in a very solid hour's work this evening, and he's chipped in with a couple of scores in the second half here. Mark Buckley, who's not wearing the gum shield the traditional way. And there's a little bit of afters, and it's needless, and the frustration maybe is boiling over. Darren McGarrell showed it there. Now, he got a black card in the first half, so if this is a yellow, he's off. Yeah, probably a little bit of frustration. He won the free and he went to take it, and Cork IT player just stopped him taking it, and he kind of pushed him down, and looks like he's going to get a second yellow here and finish, unfortunately, on a sour note. Well, as we say, it won't make any great difference to the result, but it's just a pity for McGarrett himself from Micheál Brannocks in County Galway that it's ending like this for him. Yeah, it was a fantastic catch as well, and that's the frustration, and you could see he was with the frustration, and he pushes out, but here's Gavin O'Brien off the woodwork and wide this time. Great take, really well taken by James McNeve. He's had a really good game, McNeve from County Mayo. Another turnover again, though. Again, it's getting sloppy the last couple of minutes here. Crean, who goes on an expedition inside Mary I territory. Crean looking for the 1-2 and gets it. Crean was a little unbalanced as he struck that, and he's desperately unlucky, but the chance isn't gone because it's collected by Gore. Cork Institute of Technology are the Electric Ireland Trench Cup champions, and they are back where they should be. They're back in the Sigerson Cup. The final score, 220 to 12 points.
Yeah, well-deserved winners. Look, they were the better team by far this evening, and they had a lot of class throughout, and they showed it. And again, their big players stood up when they needed them. And I think you can see Gavin O'Brien in shot there, and he was excellent this evening all throughout.
Well, the goals coming from Gavin O'Brien in the second half and Eric Lavers in the first half, I won't say those were the difference because the winning margin was so high, but CIT's class all, I think, showed from minute 1 to minute 60. Even when Mary I got a bit of a run, you could see CIT had a bit more in reserve.
They did, yeah. And Mary I started the second half quite well. In fairness, they were a man down, and they got a couple of early scores. I think they got 3 scores early on, even though they were a man down. But once Gavin O'Brien got that goal, that was really the end. And it was a brilliantly taken goal and well worked move. And again, he just showed his power and his intent, and really good finish.
A fantastic finish. Some nice scores in this game. CIT winning it a canter in the end and doing it in quality. Let's look at some of the highlights of the game.
Yeah, I think these are the second half, and again, just the couple of scores early on, straight after half time, and it was, in fairness, it was Barry Goldrick who had a good game, who got them on board with two good frees, and then after that, the Cork IT full forward line started to take over, and again, Damien Gore and Daniel Deneen were excellent throughout, and another fantastic strike from Colin Manny, really crisp strike of the ball again and kept them going, but again moved through the hands, and you can see the minute Gavin O'Brien gets the ball here, he wants goal, and brilliant finish from the angle, and that effectively probably killed the game as a contest. Again, Mark Buckley involved, and he got through a mountain of work, and brilliant finish from Gavin, who had an excellent game. Again, there's Mark clipping one on his left foot. I think he gets one on his right foot later on. So again, and you can see Mark Buckley again, the gum shield hanging out of the mouth, and another one on his right foot. And at this stage, the game was over. But the Cork IT forward line continued to push on. And again, Damien Gore, he was very, very good throughout, and sensible option here, just fisting it over the bar. And again, a lot of what Mary I were left it was frees from Cathal O'Mahony, and they didn't have a huge amount else after that. And again, that's Damien Gore taking another one on his left. This time his right, showing the full skill set, so we've seen him fist a point, left foot, right foot. He really did put on a show this evening. And that was the one goal chance that I suppose they got two goal chances that went to begging in the last couple of minutes. That actually could have been a foot block in my opinion. I think the keeper's foot was close enough to Cathal O'Mahony that would have warranted being a penalty, but the referee obviously didn't think so.
Well, we're down on the pitch with the winning manager, Conor Kelleher. Conor, your team, Cork Institute of Technology, are back in the Electric Ireland Sigerson Cup. First of all, what does it mean to win this final, the Trench Cup final?
Well, it's massive for us. As soon as we realised this was our destiny this year, it was all about winning this and getting back up to Sigerson again. We felt aggrieved when we were relegated down a tier, and we genuinely felt, and it's no disrespect to any of the competition we met along the way, but we felt we were too good for this grade of football, and I think the lads showed that tonight, and they've shown it in the earlier rounds of the competition. They've been an absolute pleasure to deal with. Some of those lads we've been dealing with for 4 and 5 years in the college. It's been an absolute treat and a pleasure to deal with, and I'm delighted we're back in Sigerson. I think it's the right place for CIT.
Sometimes when you're the absolute favourite, it can actually be a bad thing. It can maybe help lads lose focus. It didn't look to be the case for your boys this season, especially tonight. Yeah, well, I suppose we've instilled it in them. We know God-given right to win anything, and we have to face reality. We did lose a relegation final in the league last year, and there was quite a number of us involved with that last year, and we decided that we'd put ourselves down into that hole. And it was very important for those lads. Quite a number of them in fourth year playing their last college game there tonight, and it was very important for them that they handed on the CIT jersey in a better way than they inherited. And I think we've truly done that through tonight's victory, and a great bounce and a great lift for the college football again. And it says an awful lot about your team that they knew that this was their last year. A lot of them knew it was their last year. They're involved with Cork, they're involved with their clubs. You know, they've got a lot of stuff going on. They've got, you know, college commitments and all that, but they still concentrated on winning a Trench Cup for Cork Institute of Technology and getting you back up and playing big time football again, even though they won't be part of it. So it says an awful lot about a lot of your players.
It does, and you know, there's great character in them, and you know, there's a great resolve in them, but there's a great draw for the CIT jersey as well, and we're building that respect, and we're building, you know, there's a great story for us to tell. We were looking back at our Sigerson Cup win in 2009. A number of those lads were in touch with the squad, wishing them well. With Kieran Sheehan involved in our back room, you know, and that meant an awful lot. And it's very important that they leave a legacy, and I think they've truly done that. And it was very important to them that they would pass on the jersey. As I said, you only have the college jersey for a very short period of time, and it was, you know, they wanted to ensure that they did their bit for CIT football. And I'm thrilled for the likes of Kieran Murphy there, an unbelievable captain. Owen Lavers, their centre back, Sean Daly at full back, superb. And one more mention, Anthony Casey in goal, an unbelievable servant to CIT football.
Okay, Conor, thank you very much. Well done to you and your team. They're over there collecting the trophy at the moment, so let's have a look at that. Thank you.
The management team, Pat, Conor, Jimmy, Brian, Caroline, Will, the whole lot of them, everyone involved, Keith Ricken as well, everyone involved put in a lot of effort, and we went down to Trinch this year. They got relegated last year, and they're back where they belong now next year because of the boys, so well done to them. And finally, just to Mary I, that was a great game. He gave it to us, especially for the first 30 minutes. So I just like 3 cheers for Mary I. Hip hip, hip hip, hip hip.
Well, the trophy is being lifted high in the air by the captain, Kieran Murphy. And it's a big, big day for the Cork Institute of Technology. You could hear their manager, Conor Kelleher, tell us how much it means to them to get back up to Sigerson football. And even though a lot of these guys won't be involved, Mossy, they wanted to leave a legacy, and that tells you how important their college is to them.
Absolutely, yeah, and you could see the fact that he was talking about a number of them in there for 3, 4, 5 years, and there's obviously guys in this group that are probably only starting their journey in college, so even for them going into next year, it's obviously a big statement for them. And I think that's obviously a really good positive there to see Kieran Murphy collecting the trophy there as captain. And I know he was hobbling, you could see he was getting a bit of help, but he obviously went off with injury, and we hope that's nothing serious and something he recovers from quickly.
Well, it means an awful lot, as we can see, to the Cork Institute of Technology, Sigerson Cup champions in 2009. This is not a place they wanted to find themselves in, the Trench Cup, but now they find themselves out of it. And we saw with Mary Immaculate College that there's some good footballers in this competition as well. Dundalk IT might consider themselves unlucky not to have reached the final. There's some other good teams as well. And again, I know I've mentioned it a couple of times, but last year Letterkenny won this competition, and almost they were within about a minute of getting to a Sigerson Cup final this year.
Yeah, and again, it goes back to, look, I know the fact that colleges have such a turnover in players every year, but it does, you get in a habit of winning games. So the guys that were there this year that are going to be back again next year for Cork IT, this will stand to them, and they'll be used to getting into good habits. And again, it's something they look to build on going forward.
Okay, Tomas Quinn, formerly of Dublin, and DCU Docus Aaron, thanks for joining us. Remember, coming up on YouTube Sport TG Cahir is the Electric Ireland Fitzgibbon Cup final between UCC and DJ Carey's IT Carlow. There is an array of talent involved in that game. It is very well worth watching. We're on air at 7:25. The game throws in at 7:30, and the conditions, by the way, are really good for it. It's cold, but there's no breeze. Let's hope we get a cracker. CIT celebrating. They are the Electric Ireland Trench Cup winners. They've beaten Mary Immaculate College of Limerick on a final score of 220 to 12 points. My thanks to you for joining us.